You don't think this is about politics? If you don't, because people say it's not any coincidence that Edo State is running elections this year, and that's the same year you.
No, but I ran an election before, even when it was my election. Mm-hmm. Now I've done more things than that. When I came here, the official policy of government was that there was a circular prohibiting employment. We have employed over 1,500 teachers since I came here. Last month, I will show you a letter when I get to the office. From the Nigeria Labour Congress, we just recruited into the civil service about 950 young men that we have trained on ICT, and we are deployed into the mainstream of the civil service. So we are employing as we speak. And 6 months ago, we got a professor of the University of Benin, Professor Agbolaho, along with 6 other professors of education, to sit down and conduct interviews to recruit science-based teachers.
So do you support, will you support your colleagues who are saying reduce the work days, we'll reduce the work days, some even say, we say Fridays for you to go and work on the farm?
No, don't pitch me against my colleague, but I believe
I'm
that...
I'm just asking you, you're a former Labour leader. From your perspective as a former Labour leader, what do you think of those kinds of means to try and see if they can pay salaries?
If you want me to be brutally frank, it's not about being Labour leader. You have a contract. And the contract doesn't say that if you are under stress, you deploy me to the farm. I have a contract with you. You can determine the contract, but if the contract exists, you should keep your part, I keep my part. It is the business of the employer to find the revenue to pay those who have worked, because nobody employs himself. I make this point in private at Governors Forum, and I make it publicly. I believe that you have a vicious cycle when you don't pay wages, because in the Nigerian condition today, the single largest employer of labor in any state is the state government, and at the federal level, federal government. When that major employer of labor default in payment of wages, a couple of things happen. These workers will default in paying rent. And the real social security in Nigeria is that when people work, they want to invest to secure their future by building houses that they will put on rent, and they hope that at old age they collect rent, from their tenants to live. Now, when the tenant is not paid his wages, he's going to default in the payment of rent, and that old man will have challenges. And then the local economy, I have argued, and it is a fact, that the most patriotic consumers are workers and low-income earners, because their consumption pattern is more inward looking. They are the guy who will eat local okra. They are not going to import salmon fish. They're not going to import butter from the Nordic countries. Everything they consume is made in Nigeria. They are not the typical guys who take their money to go and buy imported toothpick. So when you default in paying these people, then the local market economy suffers. The market women are in trouble. One thing lead to the other, so you have a vicious cycle. So, but let me be clear, there are real issues about ability to pay. But this has to be resolved by government.
About the elections,
yes,
the forthcoming elections. I mean, many see you campaigning vigorously for the APC candidates.
Yes.
They wonder, isn't this the same kind of godfatherism that you fight against in Edo State?
No, godfathers don't campaign. They just tell you no vacancy, and they go and write the result on election day. What we are doing is to reorientate the politics of our state. And yesterday I watched President Obama sharing a platform with Mrs. Clinton, marketing Mrs. Clinton to the American people. This is the way it should be. If we were going to sit down and write the result, we're not going to go out to campaign. What is going on now in Edo? I mean, it's not a coincidence that, Channel is going to organize a debate. But do you know that under the previous government, Channel could not locate in Edo State? AIT could not locate in Edo State. So we have liberalized the space, allow freedom of information. In the past, you have only one private TV stations, and the government of the day was not going to encourage any competition. Whether anybody credit me with it or not, I like to say that we created that liberal environment to allow AIT to locate here, to allow Channel to locate here, and then the people are better for it. If you are showing rubbish in your television network, they change to the other one, which is the promise of democracy. And now we are having people to campaign. I'm going around to say this is why you must vote. I have to help people to remember, because the public can be like a baby. They need to remember what the airport road used to look like. They need to remember that the other party told us that airport road cannot be expanded, that we are going to bring down the Oba Palace. They do remember the area we call the teacher's house, where flooding sacked entire community. And I would like to take you there later in the afternoon. And you see how houses sank because the previous government had no solution. Today we've dealt with that. And people tell me, oh, so come you kill Mami Water. With pride, we kill Mami Water. You are going to a University of Lagos, a University of Benin, try to commute between Overame Square to UBTH, either to the hospital or to Unibe. And as you get to Tom Line, there's a huge river, just because it rained for 5 minutes. Many people got drawn around what became known as Tom River. We've added additional 4 lanes, created a huge drainage system to deflood the whole of that area. You have the area called 5 Junction, where after 5 minutes rain, you just can't pass there. These are things people are. So I have a duty to remind the people what we have done and to encourage them to ask the other political party what they have done. And very interestingly, because PDP had governed for 10 years, APC 7.5 years, that is one good story. So the two parties are not strangers in government. Number 2, the 2 candidates, Izeyamu for PDP, Obaseki for APC. Both of them have also been active in government. Izeyamu as secretary to government, Obaseki as chairman of economic team under APC government. And people should evaluate the role of these individuals in these 2 governments and ask themselves, who do you want to give the benefit of the doubt? Because the beauty of democracy is that it's subject to such rigorous scrutiny that it is not just about you making promises. It is about your pedigree. Why should we believe you? That is the issue in public office. Why should I believe you? Every politician promises, I will do this, I will do this, I will do this. Now, the burden of the public is, since everybody is promising they're going to do just everything, who do we trust? Now, I have to remind those people, for example, that our investment in Red Roof has yielded huge results. Playback some channel television stories around education issues, WAEC issues between 1999 and 2008. You will find that every year WAEC announces cancellation of WAEC results in Edo State. Edo was being reported as a miracle center. A center where you can get 10 credits if you pay the right fee and you have a school set up for those purposes. But with our investment in public schools, enrollments have doubled, and for the past 3 years, Edo came second in NECO. 2 months ago, WAEC announced that we came third. From 33rd position, we are now third, because we assure, as we speak, every Edo teacher is paid as a when due. We do not delay the salary of teachers. Because my argument is, if the Nigeria state default in every aspect of governance, we must not default in keeping our schools running. Okay. And so my journey the candidate to campaign is to let people know that I was the striker that they see scoring the ball. When Messi hit the net, you celebrate him. But there is a midfielder, right, who may not be seen at the goal post, but without him passing the ball, the striker will not score. So Godwin has been playing that role exactly the same way as Izeyamu was playing similar role, other PDP. So we encourage our public to interrogate their record of performance of the 2 governments.